Welcome to the launch of the Roshan Mahanama Trust.
Subha Sandhyavak. Good evening, Malik. It's a beautiful evening. මේ සන්ධ්‍යාව අපි වෙන් කරගත්තේ ඔබ සියලු දෙනා වෙන් කරගත්තේ සුවිශේෂී කාර්යයක් වෙනුවෙන්. ඒ කාර්යය කටයුතු ආරම්භ කරන්නට ප්‍රථමයෙන් අපි සූදානම්. ඔබ සියලු දෙනා පිළිගන්න. මේ විශේෂයෙන් එක් අය පිළිගන්නට අපිට නොහැකි වෙන්නේ ඒ තම හෘදයාංගම අවස්ථාවක් විදිහට අපි මේ සැලකන නිසා. ඒ නිසා ශාලාවේ සිටින ඔබ සියලු දෙනා රොෂාන් මහනාම පදනම වෙනුවෙන් අපි තාම ගෞරවයෙන් සහ ආදරෙන් පිළිගන්නවා. Malik.
On behalf of the organizers of this event, I take great pleasure in inviting especially the members of the diplomatic corps, friends, relations, and you, ladies and gentlemen, for the launch of the Roshan Mahanama Trust. We will all rise now for the national anthem.
Siri Sita Sadhana Jeevanaye Mata Piliganu Gana Appa Bhakti Puja Namo Namo Mata Appa Sri Lanka Namo 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 Mata Uve Appa Vidya
මතක් රැඳී සිටින්න අසුන් ගන්නේ
Be
නැතිව
upstand.
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් නම් කළ යුතුව තිබෙන්නේ සාම්ප්‍රදාය අනුකූල පොල්තෙල් පහන්සිලු දැල්වීම. අපි ඊට එකතු කිරීමක් කරනවා. ඒ තමයි නවීන තාක්ෂණයට අනුව ඔබ සියලු දෙනා ඒකාත්මික කරගෙන පොල්තෙල් පහන්සිලු දැල්වීමට මේ අවස්ථාවේදී තිරය මත දිස්වෙන පොල්තෙල් පහන්සිලුවට ඔබේ හදවත එකතු කරන්න මේ සියලු කටයුතු සර්ව ප්‍රකාරයෙන්ම සාර්ථක වේවායි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමි.
Be seated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is certainly customary for all of you to know the concept behind the Roshan Mahanama Trust. With the commitment of building a solid education foundation, healthy life, and a safe environment for underprivileged children of Sri Lanka, the Roshan Mahanama Trust will mainly invest its time, resources, and passion into creating a productive future generation with the ability to sustain themselves and our nation at large. The We Promise philosophy, piloted by Roshan Mahanama, is a pledge to honor the commitment we have made to serve our community, and a promise to continue building our society on a foundation of compassion, a sense of duty, responsibility, and consistency. We promise that our work is dedicated to the idea that giving back is not something we do once, but for as long as it is take for an individual, village, or the country to flourish. We promise that with consistent action, help where it is most necessary with the right attitude at heart, anyone can thrive and live up to their full potential.
සීමාවෙන් එපිට මනුෂ්‍යත්වය. එයයි මේ සන්ධ්‍යාවේ තේමාව. පොරොන්දුවක තිබෙන වටිනාකම්, පොරොන්දුවක තිබෙන අගනාකම්, ඒ සියල්ල එකතු කරගෙන මේ රටේ දරුවන් වෙනුවෙන් ඒ පොරොන්දුව ඒ විදිහටම ඉෂ්ට කරන්න මම හිතන්නේ මේ අවුරුද්දටම තියෙන හොඳම මාසය ඔක්තෝබර්. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි කියන්නේ හොඳම දේ දරුවන්ටයි කියලානේ. ඒ වෙනුවෙන් වන විධිමත් සහ වඩාත් ව්‍යුහාත්මක ආකෘතියක. ඒ වගේමයි ජාත්‍යන්තර ප්‍රජාවගේ විශ්වාසය වඩාත් තහවුරු වන විනවිදභාවයෙන් යුතු සමාජ සත්කාර පදනමක් ගොඩනැගීම වෙනුවෙනුයි අපි මේ සන්ධ්‍යාව වෙන් කරන්නේ. රටේ අඩු ආදායම්ලාභී දරුවන් වෙනුවෙන් ස්ථාවර අධ්‍යාපන පසුබිමක්, සෞඛ්‍ය සම්පන්න ජීවිතයක් සහ ආරක්ෂාකාරී වටපිටාවක් සැකසීමට තමන්ගේ කාලය සහ සම්පත් යොදවන බවට වන විශ්වාසදායී පොරොන්දුවක්. We promise. මේ පොරොන්දුවට ඒකාත්මික වන ලොව පුරා සිටින සියලු පාර්ශවයන්ට පහසුවෙන් ප්‍රවේශ විය හැකි වඩා විනිවිදභාවයෙන් යුත් පදනමක් තැනීම අරමුණු කරගෙනයි RMT නොහොත් රොෂාන් මහනාම පදනම මෙලෙසින් ඔබ හමුවේ තැබෙන්නේ.
Deshabandhu Roshan Sirivardhana Mahanama. He has been a childhood hero to many, an idolized batting and fielding icon in the 90s. Remembered especially for his classy drives on the up, mesmerizing catches taken with athleticism, far ahead of his generation, and most importantly, an integral part of the resurgence of Sri Lanka cricket that brought a nation together in the pursuit of glory of becoming world champions. A true ambassador of the sport, Roshan retired at the peak of his career, not too long after sharing that memorable world record-breaking partnership against India. His retirement came as a shock to many and was orchestrated by reasons beyond his control or talent. Nevertheless, undeterred by this, Roshan went on to playing a key role as an elite panel ICC match referee for over a decade and is regarded as one of the best in the business by the modern greats of the game. He has also played important roles as a match referee and consultant for many private leagues such as the IPL, PSL, and continues to be involved in the game wherever possible. Off the field, he is a role model son, husband, loving father, grandfather, and an individual who seems to have an extra hour in his day to give to everyone else as well. Roshan has an even more impressive legacy off the field of cricket, a way of life inculcated at a young age through his parents, and the practices and influence mainly of his beloved father. Roshan over the years has given unconditionally, supports multiple causes with true passion to improve and enrich the lives of young and old across Sri Lanka. He is a trusted brand ambassador for many charitable causes such as the SOS Children's Villages, Indira Cancer Trust, Hemas Outreach Foundation, Ayati Trust Sri Lanka, community meal share, and others. He has built schools for the needy, worked with disabled soldiers, offered scholarships, supported cancer patients, uplifted lives of persons struggling with drug addiction, fed thousands of less privileged households over the recent pandemic period and economic downturn, and has set himself apart as someone who does it with a true heart, a true motive, and not seeking any fame or ulterior motives. The word trust is often used loosely, advertised freely, and communicated broadly without true depth or meaning. However, one constant with Roshan has always been his grounding within the values he stands by: honesty, trust, integrity, and loyalty. Thereby, the vision of the Roshan Mahanama Trust is to provide a platform for all stakeholders to join in unison and enrich the lives of underprivileged children of our nation, to take his legacy to the next level in a transparent, honest, and trustworthy manner. Welcome to the launch of the Roshan Mahanama Trust.
Logo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have Mr. Roshan Mahanama, who will speak to you. Please welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Roshan Mahanama on stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here to share this moment with me. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, trustees of Roshan Mahanama Trust, distinguished guests, members of the media, family, friends, well-wishers, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a very special day for me, so I thought of penning down what I want to say just to ensure that I do not miss out on any key points. For the benefit of the dignitaries from the diplomatic missions and friends overseas online, I will be speaking predominantly in English. To begin with, I should thank my father and mother for suggesting and encouraging me to spare a thought for the less privileged and for their advice to engage in social service activities. I miss my father and wish he was here with us today. And I'm so glad that my mother is here with us today, and thank you, Amma, for everything. I was fortunate to have been brought up in an environment to be conscious of the needy, and I was exposed to many social service activities from the time I was a child. My father, my idol, my hero, and a man I looked up to and tried to emulate. Years ago, when I voiced my reluctance to deliver speeches, my father pointed out that that was an obligation I could not refuse. Reminiscent of the many times he has stepped into ease my worries, he suggested I begin all my speeches with a simple phrase, and as a tribute to him, I always do so when addressing a gathering. I'm more at ease at the crease than saying my piece on occasions like these. I support various charities and I'm honored to be the brand ambassador for 8 of them, as well as function as a trustee for IIT Center of Excellence for Differently Abled Children and Indira Cancer Trust. I have always made time for charitable projects. My father and I, with a few prominent personalities, formed a trust after the tsunami in 2004 and completed 65 projects. When quite a lot of people decided to go to the south in 2004, we started off these projects in the east. My father, my mother, my wife, and a group of eminent personalities went to Kalawanchikude to initiate that project. I must thank my dear friend Shiromi Masakorale and Hema's Holding for giving me an opportunity to do something for the less privileged in a professional manner. Abbas, thank you very much for giving me that platform to work closely with Shiromi and everyone at Hema's. Yes, we joined together in 2012, and since then, we have partnered many ventures. After the Easter bombings in 2019, we visited all 3 churches and still continue to assist some of them in Batiklo through the Roshan Vijayarama Family Foundation. During the COVID lockdown period, I was part of the COVID Aid project, which was formed by a group of doctors, my dear friend Chamindavas, and myself. We helped almost 10,000 people. Hence, I strongly believe that worthy causes can be conducted in multiple ways and not limited to directly providing financial aid. There are various ways, such as sharing your experiences and knowledge, networking, and giving your valuable time and energy, and so on. In 2019, we renovated the pediatric ward at the Kahatagasdigiliya Hospital and also assisted to build a neonatal unit through Dr. Upali Mahanama Foundation. From April this year, we have been engaged in various projects. මේ අවුරුද්දේ අප්‍රේල් මාසේ පටන් මම හිතුවා මම පාරට බැහැලා මාගේ මිත්‍රයන් සමග මගේ සහයෝගය අපේ ලාංකිකයන් වෙනුවෙන් දක්වන්න ඕනේ කියලා ඉවර වෙලා. අපි අප්‍රේල් වලත් මැයි වලත් එළුවන්කුලම මරදන් මඩුව වෙහෙරතැන්න බෙරගල බණ්ඩාරවල වැනි ප්‍රදේශවලට අපි ගියා පාසල් භාණ්ඩ ප්‍රදානය කරන්න. ඒ ව්‍යාපෘතිය මම කරේ රොෂාන් විජේරාම පවුල් පදනම හරහා. තවද SOS ළමා ගම්මාන හරහා අපි යාපනයේට නුවරඑළියට වැනි ප්‍රදේශවලට අපි ගියා වියලි ආහාර ලබා දෙන්න. මං හිතුවා ඒක මගේ යුතුයකමක් කියලා. මං කාර්ය බහුල නොමැති පුද්ගලයෙක් නෙවෙයි. ඒ වුණාට මං හිතන්නේ වෙලාව හොයාගෙන අපි වෙනුවෙන් විය යුත්තේ කරන්න හැම විටම ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා මම හිතන නිසා. Together with community meal share, we distributed food within the Colombo city, focusing on assisting the urban poverty. මම මේ වෙලාවේ සඳහන් කරන්න ඕනේ නදීකා ජයසිංහ මැතිණිය මෙතන වාඩි වී සිටිනවා. ඇය මාව සම්බන්ධ කරගන්න මට කතා කරා මං හිතන්නේ අප්‍රේල් මාසයේ මුල. ඒත් මම බැලුවයි මං වගේ පුද්ගලයෙක් මෙවැනි ව්‍යාපෘතියකට සම්බන්ධ කරගන්න බලන්නේ කියලා. මම මෙවැනි ව්‍යාපෘතියක් ශිරෝමි මාසකෝරාල මැතිණියට කියලා පටන් ගන්න අපේ යුතුයකමක් තියෙනවා කියලා ලෑස්ති වෙලා ඉන්න කාලේ තමයි නදීකා මැතිණිය මට ඒ ආරාධනාව ලබා දුන්නේ. මම එකපයින් එකඟ වුණා. මොකද මං හිතුවා මට වගකීමක් තියෙනවා ඈත් ඇයගේ මිත්‍රයන් සමග මෙවැනි ව්‍යාපෘතියකට සහභාගී වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Together with my dear friend Asanka Gurusinga's sister Anjali, we provided medical accessories to Lady Ridgway Children's Hospital in Boralla. We also initiated the Feed a Child program with the Sri Lanka College of Pediatricians, SOS, and some other partners last month in Nuwara Eliya. We are providing midday meals to outpatients and their families, accompanying them, working with Community Mealsha and Indira Cancer Trust under the Janasuwa Bala program. I thought it was important for me to mention some of these projects that I have been involved with in the recent past for the benefit of everyone who's here. 3 different groups from Australia expressed interest to work with me on charity. And since I did not have a platform of my own, I connected them with the Indira Cancer Trust. And today, they are providing funds to purchase pediatric cancer medicine, other cancer medicines, and assist us in the Janasuwa Bala program. From my point of view, we should not wait for government or local bodies to always initiate worthy projects or to engage in charitable projects. We all have a social responsibility, and our actions as individuals must always benefit the society without criticizing others. Let us contribute whatever we can towards the growth and development of our communities. The great former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, said, "First, be honest with yourself." පළමුවෙන් තමා තමන්ට අවංක විය යුතුයි. මේක මේ වැකිය මගේ හිතට කාවැදිච්ච වැකියක්. මං හිතන්නේ අපි සියලු දෙනාම මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ අපිට අවංක විය යුතුයි ප්‍රථමයෙන්ම. The most influential people in my life, my parents, my first coach, Mr. Nelson Mendes, who's here with us today, my teachers, my brother, my wife, and those who taught me cricket, which became my profession, are my heroes and my role models. They have coached me the art of life. I firmly believe that it is not one's education that matters, but it is the upbringing, which is very important. Parents and teachers can impart an education to a child, but what is more important is to inculcate good values and to encourage them to be good human beings. At the end of the day, what is important is to be a good human being, irrespective of what you have or will achieve in life. I have seen some of the worst acts committed by people who have had a good educational background. So the youngsters should always focus on values instead of money. Since my early childhood, I have been greatly influenced by high standards of conduct and behavior, which were instilled in me by my parents and my first coach, Mr. Nelson Mendes. Therefore, I must mention that I will not compromise on values of honesty, integrity, discipline, loyalty, friendship. And for me, money comes last. If you put money first for fame, power, then you will compromise on all the other values that I just mentioned before. Do not forget that I played in an era where there was no money and match-fixing was at its best. However, I never fell for any of these vices. Respect is something that you should earn and not demand. If you have good qualities and you are a good human being, you will definitely earn respect. Certainly not because you have power or money. I have no respect for dishonest people, as there is no place for them in my life. I have lived 2/3 of my life, and now my only aim is to leave behind a better place for the younger generations. The children of today are the citizens of tomorrow. They have to play an important role in our society. Thus, a good education combined with other facets which accompany a school career is imperative to develop good civic-minded citizens. In conclusion, I will be failing in my duty if I did not mention the very special people who helped me to set up the Roshan Mahanama Trust. My heartfelt gratitude goes out to the trustees, my wife Jiva, Major General Kumudu Perra, Renuka Senadira, and Ashan Piris for readily agreeing to be a part of the trust on an honorary capacity. Shiromi Masakorala for pushing me to set up the trust and for coordinating with the lawyer, and also for agreeing to function as the Director of Operations in an honorary capacity to handle all the affairs of the trust. Words cannot express my feelings. Thank you, Shiromi. Mrs. Chammika Dayaratna for agreeing to write and register the critical, more important trust deed and the logo free of charge. Thank you, Chammika. The 6 advisors who agreed to support the trust in the key areas of finance, audit, legal, marketing, events, and media. Thank you very much for agreeing to be the advisors and to join hands with me to make whatever projects that we engaged in a worthwhile project or to make it a success. The event history team for agreeing to be the marketing partner of the trust free of charge. Thank you. I know all of you all work tirelessly and your efforts are highly appreciated. Everyone who donated in the last 5 months for me to be aggressively engaging in various social service activities which prompted me to set up this trust. Mr. Divaka Ratnadure, the National Director of SOS Children's Villages, his team for agreeing to be a part sponsor of today's event history team, and everyone involved in planning and handling this event by making a useful contribution to make this event a success. My dear friends from the diplomatic missions, members of the media, all you wonderful friends, and everyone joining us virtually for adding color to this event. Thank you. And finally, to my wife Jiva and the children, I have no words to thank you for your valuable contribution, without which I would not have achieved my goals. May the Noble Triple Gem bless all of you. I will never hesitate to do my very best for the needy, especially children who are in need. Therefore, I would like to request all of you to come forward and join me in whatever way possible to assist the less fortunate, as charity is a characteristic of a great human being. Whilst wishing all of you continued success, I would like to conclude my speech by leaving behind a profound statement made by Sir Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. May all of you be blessed. Teruwan Saranai.
ගෞරවය ක්‍රියාවෙන්ම උකහාගත් ගෞරවය ක්‍රියාවෙන්ම උපයාගත් කෙනෙක් විශ්වාසයෙන් පවසන දෙයක ඉදිරි පෙළගැස්මටයි අපි මේ එකතු වන්නේ රොෂාන් මහානාම බාරේ නිල ලාංඡනය පිළිබඳව අපිට කියන්න යමක් තිබෙනවා එහෙම නේද මලික්?
Yes. We see the Roshan Mahanama Trust logo depicted in front of us. It's a fielder catching the heart with love and rays. The fielder obviously is Roshan Mahanama, mostly known for his brilliant fielding. Catching the heart means winning the hearts of many by spreading love. Torch for enlightenment and rays spreading and brightening this world. Roshan Mahanama spreading the love and enlightening the world for a better place. Meaning, spreading his humanity beyond cricket.
රොෂාන් මහානාම අපි හඳුනන්නේ ලෝක පූජිත පන්දු රකින්නෙක් ලෙස. එනිසා ඔහු නියෝජනය කරමින් මෙනිල ලාංඡනයේ පන්දු රකින්නෙක් ඔබට දිස් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේමයි ඔහු රකින්නේ හදවතක්. මුළු රටෙන්ම මුළු ලෝකයෙන්ම දිනාගත්තේ ආදරය පෙරලා ඔවුන්ට ලබා දුන්නේ ආදරය. ඔහු විසින් දෑතින්ම සුරක්ෂිතව රැක ගන්නා බවයි මේ නිල ලාංඡනයෙන් දිස්වන්නේ. ඒ වගේම මේ දැල්වෙන පන්දම සහ ඒ දකින්ට ලැබෙන දැල්ල මෙහි ආලෝකය විහිදුවාලීමත් දක්වා සිටිනවා. සරල අර්ථයෙන් කියනවා නම් රොෂාන් මහානාම සිය ආදරය සහ කැපවීම මේ නිල ලාංඡනය හරහා ප්‍රකට කරන්නේ තමන් එකල පන්දු සුරක්ෂිතව තම දෑතේ රඳවා ගත්තාසේම ඔබෙන් ලැබෙන ආදරය එලෙසින්ම පෙරලා මේ පදනමෙන් බෙදා දෙන බවට සපත කරමින්
Hi, everyone in Sri Lanka. I don't know if you know this, but it's one of my favorite places in the world. I love coming to Sri Lanka, and every time I've had the opportunity, I do come there. I have a lot of wonderful friends. One of my friends there is Roshan Mahanama, who is very much involved in charity in Sri Lanka. He's got his RM trust, and I want to wish him all the very best with it. All of corporate Sri Lanka, please come out and support. As you know, we all have to live. We all have to smile. I want to see Sri Lankans, as I know them, all smiling people. So to Roshan and his trust, I want to wish you all the very best.
Roshan Ayya has always been involved in helping others, and I'm privileged to have done some projects with him. I continue to support and be a part of his charity projects whenever I can. And he has inspired me in many ways that we should contribute to our fellow citizens. People like him are a ray of hope. Thank you for everything you do for the less privileged and the society. I humbly ask all the Sri Lankans who are living in overseas, friends, fans, to support this wonderful trust. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sunil Gavaskar, and I'm delighted to know that my good friend Roshan Mahanama is starting a trust called the Roshan Mahanama Trust, the RM Trust. Roshan's been a wonderful player for Sri Lanka. He's also been a much respected match referee for the ICC, and now after having served our beloved game of cricket for such a long time, he is now looking to serve the people of Sri Lanka with his trust, the Roshan Mahanama Trust, the RM Trust. I do wish him all the very best. I do hope the corporates come forward to help him do what he's looking to do with education, health, nutrition, you name it, things that every nation needs. And I do believe that Sri Lanka, the ever-smiling Sri Lanka, will join Roshan in his efforts to put an even bigger smile on the faces of the Sri Lankans. Good luck and God bless you all.
Hi Sri Lanka, I'm Basim Akram, and as you all know, Sri Lanka is one of my favorite places in the world. I love the country, I love the people, I love the food, and a very dear friend of mine, one of my friend in Sri Lanka, Roshan Mahanama, is opening up his trust, RM Trust. I would like to request all the corporate to help. I want Sri Lankan people to laugh and smile because they are very happy people and I love them so much. I wish Roshan all the very best for this venture, buddy.
ඔව් ඒ උණුසුමත් පුලසන්නදෙම බලාපොරොත්තු වුණා ඒ ගෞරවය වෙනුවෙන්. මීළඟට මූලික හර පද්ධතියක් මත පදනම්ව ගොඩනැගෙන රොෂාන් මහානාම භාරය වෙනුවෙන් මෙහි මෙහෙයුම් අධ්‍යක්ෂිකාවට කියන්ට බොහෝ දේ ඇති. මේ හරයන් හා සම්බන්ධව ඒ වගේම මේ අනාගත පරපුර කෙරෙහිම දක්වන්නා වූ විෂන් එක එහෙමත් නැත්නම් දැක්ම පිළිබඳවත් ඇය අපි සියලු දෙනාටමත් වඩා හොඳින් පැහැදිලි කරાવી. මේ ගෞරවනීය ආරාධනය රොෂාන් මහානාම භාරයේ මෙහෙයුම් අධ්‍යක්ෂිකා ශිරෝමි මාසකොරාල මහත්මියයි.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure being here today, and it's a very special day for me, personally, as my good friend Roshan Mahanama is launching his trust. Let me start with a quote from Mother Teresa. She says, "It's not how much you give, but how much love we put into giving." This is exactly what is about Roshan Mahanama Trust. There's so much love that we have put behind this Roshan Mahanama Trust in a genuine and a sincere manner. Before I go to my presentation, I want to speak a few words about our friend Roshan. Roshan, I'm hoping that I won't embarrass you, but then again, I thought it is my duty to talk about Roshan because this trust did not come up overnight. There's a journey, there's a story. I met Roshan in 2008. That was at Asanka Guru Singha's father's funeral. His sister Anjali, who's in this audience today, is a dear friend of mine. And at that time, the Hemas, I still work for Hemas, the Hemas Outreach Foundation was looking for a brand ambassador. And I thought, Roshan is the ideal person. One reason is the charisma and the personality and the person, such a down-to-earth, a nice gentleman. And we were all fans during our times. Roshan was a big cricketing hero for us. And I thought, I must ask him if he could become our brand ambassador. But I was a little reluctant, I was shy, I was excited, and I was wondering whether he would snub me. But here I meet this wonderful gentleman and I invite him, and he wholeheartedly agrees and said anything and just let me know. Because we were focusing on early childhood development in Sri Lanka with the Ministry of Women and Child Affairs, and he realized the importance of it. But in 2008, the war was on, and I was in touch with many soldiers, families who were losing their husbands, not only in the north, not only in the south, even in the north. And I had so many children wanting help. And I personally told Roshan that these children were in need. I couldn't believe he offered to give them scholarships. I wouldn't want to mention the number. Not only in the south, but in the north, in the Jaffna Peninsula as well. For years, he was sending their monthly sponsorship, and I was really shocked. Not only the children, there were university students who were giving up their studies because they couldn't afford. And there were medical students and management degree students who wanted help. And I had to only speak to Roshan. And today we have these doctors who have passed out, management consultants who have passed out with the help of Roshan. But that is a well-kept secret, my dear friends. But this is the man that we call Roshan Mahanama, such a gentleman. But the icing of the cake was when I experienced something with him in Diyatalava. There was an unfortunate death of a naval officer. I think we lost a few naval officers in the Dambulla bomb blast. And these two children were, one was 5 and one was 3. And for the shock of it, the mother passed away within 7 days. And they became orphaned. And they were with a grandmother. And I happened to meet these two children. I couldn't bear the pain. And I called Roshan from Diyatalava and said, Roshan, there's a case like this. He said, don't worry, I'm here. I'll sponsor. And he readily sponsored. And that year, April, I get 2 beautifully wrapped gifts, all cricketing gear, the bats, the cricket balls, and so on. Beautifully wrapped by his wife, Jiva, who is the pillar of success for all of us, including the Roshan Mahanama Trust. She had gone into the little details, and this was given to the children. And Jiva, thank you very much for all what you do for the Roshan Mahanama Trust and what you have been doing behind the scene. She's a very shy lady, but I have to acknowledge you, Jiva, for all what you have done. It didn't stop there, friends. So he joined me with the Piera preschool project, and we were constructing preschools. We have 62 preschools today. And when I was doing the 39th preschool, just after the war of Vaunia, in a very remote area called Veheratana, I asked Roshan, how will I get sponsorship for this? He said, I am going to build it for you with my personal funds. And he built this preschool. That was our 39th preschool. We went for the opening. And the day of the opening, such a rural village, the villagers told him, Apita, primary schoolයක් නෑ. කැලෑවේ කිලෝමීටර් 14ක් ඇවිදින්න තියෙනවා. They had to walk 14 kilometers to get to a primary school. There was no primary school. He readily said, I will build the primary school for you. And that's how Roshan Mahanama Primary School was built in Veheratana. Friends, you might wonder why did he give his name to the school. To be very honest with you, it is I who decided to give the name. And Roshan had no clue that the school was going to be in his name. I spoke to the one commander at that time and the education ministry, and they all agreed. Why did I choose to put his name? Because I thought, අපිට තව රොෂාන්ලා දෙන්නෙක් ඉහ ගමකින් ආවනම් මේ රටට වාසනාවක්. It's a blessing for the country if we can get 2 people from the school. And he came for the opening, and the previous day I told his father that I had named it Roshan Mahanama Primary. And he was very upset. He said, my God, Roshan is going to get a shock. He wouldn't like this. So he and Jiva, they go for the opening and he sees it. And I still remember he turned blue and purple. And nobody in this world would have known if not for Chamindavas, who was there with him. He quickly took a photograph and posted it on his Facebook. And that's how the world got to know and the media got to know. When the media started calling Roshan, all the calls were diverted to me. So I had to answer the media. That's how he was. And he didn't have a Facebook account. The Hema's team thought he has to have a Facebook account. With the greatest difficulty, we opened a Facebook account and we wanted him to post what he was doing because his friends and relatives were helping and they would like to see what he was doing with their funds. And that's the very reason that his Facebook account came, not for publicity, but for being accountable and being transparent. That was the reason. So one could ask, why Roshan Mahanama Trust? This year, I've been pushing him, my friend Roshan. I said, Roshan, we are in an economic crisis. People are suffering. And you have the reputation. You have the respect from the world. There's going to be a lot of people who will help us, bring in funds to help our people. This is the time the country needs you. And then finally he said, okay, because he was very scared to handle other people's money. So we got Amarasekar and company who's doing our accounts. An international auditing firm will audit all the accounts because transparency and accountability is a key. So this is the story of Roshan Mahanama Trust. So I'm sure most of you wouldn't have known some of these things that I already told you. So let me just explain to you about our trust. I think about the promise. We already spoke about the promise. We have a vision and we have a mission. The promise is actually it's coming from our heart. We are focusing on deprived children and their education, health and well-being, as well as their a secure environment for them. That's what we are looking at. When it came to our vision, I wrote this vision personally. And what I wrote was to provide a platform for all stakeholders to join in unison in order to enrich the lives of underprivileged children of our nation. Because we cannot work in isolation. We have to collaborate. We have to partner. That's what the UN SDG Sustainability Goal number 17 says, which is very true. And that's the very vision we have, because there are so many stakeholders working in isolation, in different pockets, but we all need to come together. And Roshan Mahanama Trust will be a platform for them to work with us. Our mission is to unite all stakeholders to lay a solid educational foundation, healthy life, and a safe environment for underprivileged children of our motherland, resulting in producing a productive future generation to sustain themselves and our nation at large. We are not into this dependency mentality. We need to empower our children. We need to empower our community. This is a country rich of intelligent people. We don't have to beg. We need to empower people, and we can do that. And our children are quite intelligent, and they understand. This is exactly what we want to achieve. This is the promise we are trying to give you. When it comes to our values, I think Roshan already explained these values: honesty, integrity, discipline, loyalty, and friendship. Friends, just 2 days back, I was working with Roshan, and we were going home. Near our house, there's a small boutique. And there's this Mudalali in the boutique, and he was not feeling too well. So we stopped the vehicle and asked how he was. And he, in reply, asked, "Where did you go?" We said, "We are coming after meeting Roshan Mahanama." My God, the face lit up. And in Sinhala, he said, "Puduma mahatte, hari honda, nihatamani, cricket වලට අපි ආදරේ කරා. හැබැයි දැන් ආදරේ කරන්නේ ඒ මහත්මා ගතිවලට. අපේ ලංකාවට තවත් එහෙම කීප දෙනෙක් හිටියනම් කොච්චර හොඳ තැනක්ද." This gentleman, let me translate what he said. He's just an ordinary person. When he heard that I had met Roshan, he said, "What a wonderful, honest gentleman is that." He's more than anything a human being, a man with quality. And we need more people like that. So this is the perception out there. These are the values that we as a trust has to maintain. So we are very committed to this. That is our promise. Next one, please. Yeah. So we focus on key areas. Our guiding pillars are scholarships for children, educational development initiative, and development of infrastructure. This is one side of our work. We have 6 pillars. The second pillar is conducting various educational programs to inculcate values and life skills. These are things that is required. Academic stuff is always taught in schools, but life skills, values, these are things that we want to concentrate on. And also health and well-being of our children, and build awareness on critical illnesses. One may ask, why critical illnesses? This is because most of our young children are losing their parents for NCDs, non-communicable diseases. We need to talk about it. We need to educate our public. That's exactly what we want to do. And then to initiate during emergency situations, man-made or otherwise, we want to come and help our people. That's exactly what Roshan is doing through his community kitchen programs with Nadika. Then to promote an inclusive society And lastly, to be a voice to address issues of violence against children. This is something that we are very keen to promote because we see a lot of violence against our children and the environment, our values. These are things that we want to talk of. So we have, next one please, we have 3 buckets. One is education, health, and the other one is the safe environment. Right now, we have started work. We are already offering scholarships. We have infrastructure development. We have life skill programs and the Piyavara preschool programs for early childhood development. Roshan Vijayarama Foundation is working with us and SOS. Under health and well-being, we have Suvarana, the Pediatric Palliative Care Center, where Roshan is directly involved with. Community Meal Share Trust. Feed a Child with the College of Pediatricians. Ayati, National Center for Children with Disabilities. Stroke and Kidney and ICT, Indira Cancer Trust. SOS, and infrastructure development. We have a big dream. I think that will be one of our key projects of this trust. There are many children with disabilities. You will be shocked to hear 1 in 5 has some form of a disability in this country. So most of the parents, what they say is, what happens to our child when we are no more? They cry. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අඬනවා. අපිත් එක්ක ආයති සෙන්ටර් එකේ මේ දෙමව්පියෝ. අපි මැරුණයින් පස්සේ මේ දරුවන්ට මොකද වෙන්නේ? ගොඩක් වෙලාවට පාරට දාලා යනවා. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අතරමං කරනවා. They have no place to go when their parents are no more. Roshan and the Roshan Mahanama Trust is seriously looking at constructing a residential facility for orphan children with disabilities because they have no place to go. We want it to be the best and we are wanting to do this. Right now we have started on work and I'm very positive that we'll get the support from everybody to build this center. Lastly, the safe environment. We have the Lama PSA program with the College of Pediatricians, SOS, and the Piyavara Preschool Project, and Mitru, where Roshan is talking of drug addiction. So these are the areas that we will concentrate on. Let me end by, again, giving you the quote of Mother Teresa. It is not how much you give, but how much love we put into giving. This is exactly what this trust is about. All of us, the trustees, we are all professionals in different areas of work, but we are giving all our 100% to this trust, and that's a promise that we make to the Roshan Mahanama Trust. With a lot of love, we are there to take this forward, not for today, not for tomorrow, but for a long time to come. Thank you very much.
Well, that was the Director of Operations of the Roshan Mahanama Trust, hardworking Ms. Shiromi Maskorale.
Roshan Mahanama was my childhood hero as well as a good friend that time onwards.
Related to cancer, in breast cancer awareness, where he was the founder of the Wear Pink on Wednesdays campaign for early detection of breast cancer.
I know him from under 13 playing cricket onwards.
Because of Roshan's transparency and integrity, a lot of people came in front to help him, as well as on the charities what he performs right now.
Is because we know that he's known for genuinely supporting communities who are underprivileged in Sri Lanka.
Roshan has been a friend, a colleague and a fellow trustee, me and Hemas, on various projects we have done together.
He has a great passion for work for needy children, for needy people. This is one of the great things in Roshan.
විශේෂයෙන්ම සමාජ සේවයන්සින් බලනකොට එතුමාගේ නිහතමානීභාවය මම හිතන්නේ මගේ තාත්තටත් 100ටත් වැඩිය නිහතමානී බවක් තියෙනවා කියන එක ඉතාමත්ම නිහතමානීව මම ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට ඕනේ.
Supporting his school was the start of the journey. After that, we covered about 5 schools in Sri Lanka, that is totally in the rural area. the covering Medavachia, Vihratanna, then Eluankulama as well as Beragala.
We created a foundation for charity. That foundation was called the Upali Mahanama Memorial Foundation. And the key in this foundation was Roshan Mahanama.
Roshan just always does the background work. He calls the communities, he supports them, he speaks to people to understand the needs of the communities. He also travels around Sri Lanka and he visits a lot of our primary schools as well. So for us, he's not just a brand ambassador, he's a massive pillar of strength as well.
He's given his total commitment to the work of the Hemas Outreach Foundation, and I've been delighted to be associated with him.
We hope that initiation of the Roshan Mahanama Trust will further and strengthen our collaboration between the two organizations, and we find it a privilege to be working with such a gentleman, and also we are very proud of the fact that he is part of the Indira Cancer Trust.
So I wish all the best for Roshan Mahanama Trust, and we will be always there to work with him.
And Roshan was instrumental in collecting most of the funds. He used his personal funds, and that was one of the key projects done under the Upali Mahanama Foundation in Sri Lanka.
So thank you, Roshan. Good luck with your trust, and I can't wait to see what the future has for us.
I'm happy to congratulate Roshan on the work that he has done. Wish him all the very best with the Roshan Mahanama Trust.
With the beginning of the Roshan Mahanama Trust, I wish Roshan all the very best in his future endeavors as well.
වචන කිහිපයක් අපිට ඇහුණා. Genuine, integrity. මේ වගේ බොහොම අපි කියන්නේ keywords කියලා. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ වගේ ඊටාම කේන්ද්‍රීය වචන කිහිපයක් අපිට ඇහෙනවා කියන්නේ අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒ පුද්ගලයා ගැන විශ්වාසය, වගවීම පිළිබඳව හොඳම සාක්ෂියක් සපයනවා. මීළඟට මේ වේදිකාව සැකසෙන තුරු මීළඟ කාර්යය සඳහා මම හිතන්නේ මේ සියල්ල පිළිබඳව මාලික අපි යමක් කිව යුතුයි.
Yes, I fully endorse and agree of all what has been said this afternoon about the Roshan Mahanama Trust. One of the more important things is the core values: honesty, integrity, discipline, and loyalty. There's a lot of lip service which is being done throughout Sri Lanka and throughout the communities, throughout the politicians, we all know. But in action, we find that this is not what is happening. People have, in fact, forgot about values. People don't believe in values. The values which were there during the period of Roshan Mahanama's father, Dr. Upali Mahanama, and coming down the line to Roshan Mahanama is something great. And I think we should all get together, united, promote values, because values are something, the most important thing in this country, which is gradually diminishing, which is taking away the basic ingredients of humanity. I think what Roshan is trying to do ultimately to make this place a better place than it was founded. I'm sure Sri Lanka was better than this. I hope we can all get together, put our hands together under this trust and make Sri Lanka a better place than it is today. Make it better for our children. Make it better for the future.
මෙසියල්ල වඩා විනිවිදභාවයෙන් යුත් ආකාරයෙන් කිරීම සඳහා මේ නව තාලයට නව කාලයට ගැලපෙන විදිහට වෙබ් අඩවියක් රොෂාන් මහානාම භාරය විසින් දැන් අන්තර්ජාලයට මුදා හරිනවා. ඒ සඳහා මා ආරාධනා කරනවා ගෞරවයෙන් යුතුව මේ වෙබ් අඩවිය අන්තර්ජාලයට මුදා හැරීමේ කටයුත්ත වෙනුවෙන් මේ සියල්ලෙහි අලෙවි කරන සහාය සපයන රොෂාන් මහානාම මුලින් සඳහන් කළ ඒ ඉවෙන්ට්ස්ට්‍රි ආයතනය නියෝජනය කරමින් ඔවුන්ගේ පාර්ශවයෙන් අයෙකුටත් ඒ වගේමයි මේ රොෂාන් මහානාම භාරයේ සභාපති රොෂාන් මහානාම මහතාටත් මේ අපි ජාත්‍යන්තරය වෙනුවෙන් වෙබ් අඩවිය මුදා හැරෙන අවස්ථාවට එක්වන්නට.
We will now have some very important agreements being signed. Firstly, we will have the College of Pediatricians and Roshan Mahanama Trust partnership on the Feed a Child program. I take great pleasure in inviting Professor Guwani Liyanage, President of the College of Pediatricians, and Roshan Mahanama to be on stage, accompanied by Professor Ashwini Fernando from the College of Pediatricians and Shiromi Maskorale, Director Operations of the Roshan Mahanama Trust.
ළමා රෝග විශේෂඥයින්ගේ විද්‍යාර්ථිනින් සමග Feed a Child වැඩසටහන සඳහා දරුවන්ට සුරක්ෂිත වටපිටාවක් ඇති කිරීමේ වැඩසටහන සඳහාත් සහයෝගීත්ව අවබෝධතා ගිවිසුම අත්සන් කිරීමටයි අපි දැන් සූදානම් වෙන්නේ. මේ විශේෂ අවස්ථාවක් අද මේ සන්ධ්‍යාවේ ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කරනවා රොෂාන් මහානාම පදනමේ මෙහෙයුම් අධ්‍යක්ෂිකා ශිරෝමි මාසකෝරාල මහත්මියට වගේම ළමා රෝග විශේෂඥයින්ගේ විද්‍යායතනය නියෝජනය කරමින් මහාචාර්ය ගුවනි ලියනගේ සහ මහාචාර්ය අශ්විනී ප්‍රනාන්දු දෙපළට. මේ වැඩසටහන් දෙකම යලිත් සිහිපත් කළ යුතුයි. Feed a Child වැඩසටහන සහ දරුවන්ට සුරක්ෂිත වටපිටාවක් ඇති කිරීම පිළිබඳව වූ වැඩසටහන් දෙක සඳහා වන සහයෝගීත්ව අවබෝධතා ගිවිසුම් මේ අත්සන් ලැබෙන්නේ.
Well, we have Mr. Roshan Mahanama from the Roshan Mahanama Trust and Professor Guwani Liyanage from the President of the College of Pediatricians signing the document of this agreement on Feed a Child.
රුෂාන් මහානාම භාරය හා සම්බන්ධ වන හර්යාත්මක පද්ධතියක් අපි පැහැදිලි කළා මේ ගත වුණු පුරා වේලාව පුරාවටම. ඒ සඳහන් කරපු කාරණා සියල්ලෙහිම අන්තර්ගතය තුල තිබුණු බොහෝ දේවල් අපි මෙලෙසින් විවිධ ආයතන සමග එකඟත්ව අවබෝධතා ගිවිසුම් වශයෙන් අත්සන් තැබීමයි මෙහිදී සිදුවන්නේ.
We now have the second agreement to be signed by Professor Ashwini Fernando, Council Member of the College of Pediatricians, will sign the agreement with the Roshan Mahanama Trust, and Roshan Mahanama will do the honors. This second agreement is creating a safe environment for children. The first one was Feed a Child. This second agreement, which is about to be signed, is an agreement creating a safe environment for children.
දරුවන් සඳහා වන සුරක්ෂිත වටපිටාවක් ගැන වැඩියෙන් කතා බහට ලක්වන කාලයක දරුවන්ට ඒ සුරක්ෂිත වටපිටාව කිසියම් අයුරකින් සැකසීමේ ජාතික අවශ්‍යතාවක් මතුව තිබෙනවා. ඒ කාර්යය ඉටු කිරීමට රොෂාන් මහානාම භාරය සූදානම්. ඒ මේ අවබෝධතා ගිවිසුම් හරහා ඉදිරි වැඩ කටයුතු අනාගතය වෙනුවෙන් සම්පාදනය වන සුබ බලාපොරොත්තු සමගින්
For a better Sri Lanka, we need to protect and safeguard our children. We need them to be educated. We need them to have a better environment. Well, we have another agreement to be signed. We cordially invite Dr. Lanka Jayasuriya Disanayaka, Chairperson of Trustee Indira Cancer Trust, to be on stage.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි ඔබ දෙපළට. මීළඟට අපි ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කරන්නේ ඉන්දිරා පිළිකා භාරය සමග පිළිකා සම්බන්ධකාරයන්හිදී පදනමට සහයෝගය ලබා දීමේ ඒ අවබෝධතා ගිවිසුම අත්සන් කිරීමේ අවස්ථාවට වෛද්‍ය ලංකා ජයසූරිය දිසානායක මැතිණියයි මෙලෙසින් මේ ගිවිසුමට ඉන්දිරා පිළිකා භාරය වෙනුවෙන් අත්සන් තබන්නේ.
Roshan believes in wearing pink on a Wednesday, and that is particularly for the women of this country. And perhaps this third agreement which is about to sign with Dr. Lanka Jayasuriya Disanayaka, Chairperson, Trustee of the Indira Cancer Trust, is moving towards providing an environment that is conducive for women and assistance to them in this regard.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි. ඒ අවබෝධතා ගිවිසුම් අත්සන් කිරීම එලෙසින් අවසන් වනවා. ගිවිසුම් 3ක් අත්සන් කිරීම අවසානයේ ඉදිරියටත් මෙලෙසින් කටයුතු කිරීමට රොෂාන් මහනාම භාරයට අවස්ථාව සලසා දෙමින්. මීළඟට අපිට තවත් සුවිශේෂී අවස්ථාවක් සඳහා වේදිකාව සූදානම් කර ගැනීමට තිබෙනවා. මේ මූල්‍යමය කටයුතු අතිශය විශ්වාසදායී හා විනිවිදභාවයෙන් යුතුව සිදු විය යුතුයි. ඒ නිසාම අපි මේන් කිහිපයක් ඔබේ ඇස් ඉදිරි පිටම රොෂාන් මහනාම භාරය සඳහා පිළිගැන්වීමට කටයුතු සූදානම් කරලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ වගේම විශේෂයෙන් මතක් කළ යුතුයි අපේ මාධ්‍ය සහෝදරයින් වෙත ලබා දීලා තිබෙනවා තොරතුරු පත්‍රිකාවක්. එහි අවසන් පිටුවේ දැක්වෙනවා මෙහි ගිණුම් විස්තර. ඒ ගිණුම් විස්තර වල ඉදිරියේදී ඕනෑම අයෙකුට ලොව පුරා සිටින ඕනෑම අයෙකුට අන්තර්ජාලය හරහා වුවත් මේ සඳහා දායකත්වය ලබා දිය හැකි බව අපි මතක් කරනවා. අර විනිවිදභාවය සහ විශ්වාසය වෙනුවෙන් මේ සියලු ගිණුම් කටයුතු අමරසේකර සහ සමාගම භාරයේ සිදුවන අතර ජාත්‍යන්තර මට්ටමේ විගණනයකට ලක්වන බවත් අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම සඳහන් කළ යුතුයි.
Well, we have some generous people around the world who are making donations. And the first donation would be from Kathy and David Cruz from Melbourne through Asanka Guru Singha, together with Asanka Guru Singha and Dilruk Jayasingha. They in fact conducted a program in Melbourne titled Comedy and Kottu and collected funds for this initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, can we ask Mrs. Anjali Guru Singha?
අපි ඊට යොමු වීමට ප්‍රථමයෙන් මේ වෙනුවෙන්ම වෙන්වුණු තවත් සුවිශේෂී යමක් තිරය මත සූදානම්. අපි ඉන්න අනතුරුව අංජලි ගුරුසිංහ මහත්මිය සූදානම් වන තුරු අපි ඒ වෙනුවෙන් යොමු වෙමු වීඩියෝ තිරය වෙත.
Hello, this is a very quick video message from Melbourne, Australia. I'm Tomo, and I'm pleased to say that I've supported Roshan with many of his charity works in Sri Lanka over many years now. Along with David and Kathy Cruz, we've supported Roshan in his wonderful efforts with those charity events. If you can in any way see yourself clear to help him with this new project, I would encourage you to do so. Many of his friends here in Australia wish him well with this, and we will continue to support Roshan when and where we can. Go well, everyone. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Resham Deranani from Aruba. I visited my hometown Sri Lanka in June. When the people of Sri Lanka were going through tough times, I felt I needed to do something to help the people in need in these trying times. And I'm glad I stumbled upon Roshan and the work he was doing with other organizations. I have seen his dedication and desire to make a difference in people's lives and give back to our beautiful country. I take this opportunity in congratulating you for the Roshan Mahanama Trust Fund, and I am confident that you will go above and beyond to make a difference in people's lives. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this. God bless you and your team. Congratulations once again. Hashtag We Promise.
We as Sydney UPI Incorporated Organization in the state of New South Wales of Australia, very much delighted to hear Roshan Mahanama Foundation is inaugurating in Sri Lanka. And we are very much supportive of Roshan Mahanama's work and also willing to stand by shoulder to shoulder with his work into the future. By saying that, we are willing to pledge today $2,500 towards to the Roshan Mahanama Foundation, and I wish the organization, including all of us together, all the very best. Thank you.
Well, those are some of the well-wishers who came up. So can we have Mrs. Anjali Gurusingha to come up on stage and Roshan to accept the donations. In fact, together with Kathy and David Cruz, whom you saw up there on the video, they're from Melbourne. There's also Asanka Gurusingha and Dilruk Jayasingha. They conducted a fundraiser titled Comedy and Kuttu, Raise Funds, and these are the funds you're seeing on stage.
මේ සංකේතාත්මකව ඒ චෙක් පත ප්‍රදානය කරන අවස්ථාව ඒ වගේමයි රොෂාන් විජේරාම ෆැමිලි ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් වෙතිනුත් රොෂාන් මහනාම භාරය වෙත මෙහිදී ප්‍රදානයක් සිදු කිරීමට නියමිතව තිබෙනවා. ඒ වෙනුවෙන් මා ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කරනවා රේණුකා සේනාධීර මැතිණියට.
Well, can we have Mrs. Renuka Senadira on behalf of Roshan Vijayarama Foundation? Roshan Vijayarama Family Foundation to make the contributions. Then we have friends from New Zealand. We'd like to have on stage Lakmali Veerasundara from Friends from New Zealand.
එවැගේමයි ඔබ වීඩියෝ දර්ශන පෙළේ දුටු රෙෂාම් දර්යනානි නියෝජනය කරමින් නීෂා සූදානම් ඇයගේ ප්‍රදානයත් රොෂාන් මහනාම භාරය වෙත ලබා දෙන්න. මම ඊට වඩා උණුසුම් පිළිගැනීමක් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මේ සියල්ල රටේ අනාගත පරම්පරාව වෙනුවෙන් කරන්නා වූ ප්‍රදානයන්.
Well, on behalf of Sydney UPI, well, all the way from Sydney, we have Sydney UPI. Can we have Mrs. Sobita Veerasekara on stage from Sydney UPI?
මීළඟට තමන්ගේ උණුසුම් ප්‍රදානය කරන්නට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ට්‍රාන්ස්පෝර්ට්ස් අධිපති ලසන්ත අමරසිංහ මහතා. ස්තුතියි ඔබතුමන්ටත් මේ රටේ අනාගත පරම්පරාව වෙනුවෙන් ලබා දෙන්නට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන මූල්‍යමය ප්‍රදානය පිළිබඳව.
Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have from the Imperial College of Business a 3-year scholarship program worth 81 million rupees being given to the foundation. can we have on stage Mr. Pravit Rajaratnam to hand over the scholarship program for the Roshan Mahanama Foundation.
වාර්ෂිකව මිලියන 27 බැගින් නොවුන් සූදානම් මේ දරුවන්ගේ අධ්‍යාපන කටයුතු වෙනුවෙන් යොදවන්නට සමස්තයක් විදිහට වසර 3ක ශිෂ්‍යත්වයකුයි මෙලෙසින් ඔවුන් ප්‍රදානය කරන්නේ මිලියන 81කට අධික ප්‍රමාණයක මුදලක් ඔවුන් මේ වෙනුවෙන් වෙන් කරනවා. Imperial College of Business, Pravit Rajaratnam.
Ladies and gentlemen, a generous contribution from Imperial College of Business. Put your hands together. Big round of applause to all our donors.
ඒ ප්‍රදානයන් කිහිපයක් පමණයි. මේ මග විවර වන්නේ අපි ඔබට තොරතුරු ලබා දෙන්නේ අන්තර්ජාලය වෙත මේ සියලු කටයුතු මුදා හැරෙන්නේ තවත් බොහෝ දෙනාට මේ කාර්යය වෙනුවෙන් දායකත්වය සැපයිය හැකි බවට මතක් කර දෙමින්. මලික්.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our program. And before that, we trust that you will have a couple of questions you would want to ask the trust. So we'd like to have members of the trust, Mr. Roshan Mahanama.
එවැගේමයි පදනම යනෙකුත් බාරකරුවන් නියෝජනය කරමින් ජීවා මහනාම මැතිනියටත් අපි ආරාධනා කරනවා වේදිකාවට. එවැගේමයි මේජර් ජෙනරල් කුමුදු පෙරේරා මැතිතුමන්, රේණුකා සේනාධීර මැතිනිය සහ අෂාන් පිරිස් මහතා. මේ තමයි පදනමේ බාරකරුවන්. මේ රොෂාන් මහනාම භාරයේ බාරකරුවන් අපි උණුසුම් අත්පොළ සන්නාදයකින් ඔවුන්ව වේදිකාවට පිළිගමු. හැබැයි මේ උණුසුම් වටයක් වන්නට ඉඩ නොදී අපි බලමු ප්‍රශ්න කොහොමද ප්‍රේක්ෂකාගාරයෙන් නැගෙන්නේ කියලා. මලික් මේක කොන්දේසියක් නෙවෙයි. හැබැයි ඉල්ලීමක්. දැන් කවුරු හරි අඩුයි වගේ. ඔව් මෙහෙයුම අධ්‍යක්ෂිකාව ශිරෝමි මාසකෝරාල මහත්මියටත් අපි ආරාධනා කරනවා.
මම හිතන විදිහට රාශිනී ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්න බැරි විදිහට තමයි මේ කටි ඔක්කොම අද මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් කතා කරලා තියෙන්නේ.
ඒත් ඉතින් ලංකාවේ නිසා අනිවාර්යෙන් ප්‍රශ්න තියෙයි. හැබැයි මේ වැඩේට අදාළව ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අපි වඩා සතුටුයි. ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ කොන්දේසියක් නෙවෙයි ඉල්ලීමක් පමණයි. ඔබට ප්‍රශ්න විමසීමේ හැකියාව තිබෙනවා. අපි ඒ අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙන්න සූදානම් අවස්ථාව ඉල්ලන කෙනෙකුට.
So if you have any questions, please raise your hand and then we will take them one by one. Well, to get things started, I think this generally happens, right? You need to not exactly plant a question, but I thought I'll ask the foundation, your first initiative. What would be the first initiative of the foundation?
Malik, first let me thank everyone for being here today. We already initiated the first one, which I briefly briefed when I spoke before. We joined hands with the Indira Cancer Trust, Community Meal Share. From Monday to Friday, next 1 year, we will be giving a midday meal, and that is going to be our first initiative. We've got a few on the pipeline. We were first only getting the house in order, and then we will plan accordingly.
Right, now we've got the ball rolling, and if there are, we'd like to have questions from the audience, if any. Well, in the absence of, oh, there's a question. Your name and then the question.
Hi, Roshan, I'm Eastwaran from Daily Mirror. A couple of questions. Firstly, since there have all been a few pledges coming in, any more pledges for the trust from like organizations or individuals overseas?
Eastwaran, we've managed to get everyone on board, who has pledged. but few groups overseas have said that they want to work with us. We've just set up the bank account and all the other details, and then after the launch, we will have to share the details with them. So we are hoping that there'll be more and more people will join hands with us to be of service to the community.
Well, you just mentioned service. Service to humanity is the best work of life.
I just want to ask you, and since this has been doing the rounds, you know, a lot of comments been made about you as an individual, and you know how even here on stage people were saying that, you know, we need a couple of people like Roshan Mahanama. So the obvious question is, you know, why aren't you, or are you considering entering politics?
Thank you for the Yorker Isparan. If I wanted to go into politics, I would have gone in 1999. That was when I had to leave the game I love so passionately. And you said that I have to be there. I think it's far more important to be there for the people than focusing on something that I shouldn't be focusing at this stage. I think what's important for me right now is to be there for the people. I know it's been very tough for them the last few months mainly, but since the start of the COVID, I think we've seen this from you know, a lot of people that whom I come across, and that's why I've been going out since the start of the pandemic. So I have no plans of going into politics, but what's important for me right now is to be there and be there for people. I think we as a country have always been there for one another, and I think I encourage everyone to keep doing what they've been doing and to be there for everyone. Since the insurgency, so on and so forth, we've always had issues, and then we've come out of all these issues because we've been there for one another. So don't stop doing what you can. And I remember being involved with the SOS Children's Villages. Once I was told that we were in the top 6 of the World Giving Index. Still we are, I think, in the top 10 in the World Giving Index. And people who have been living overseas, when I was delivering some stuff to the Lady Ridgeway Hospital, the doctors, they were saying that they're very appreciative of the support that they have been getting from fellow Sri Lankans overseas. I should thank them for the support that they have been giving towards the people of this country. And I think what's more important for me personally is to make the lives of people much more comfortable.
I think that was a wonderful answer. It deserves a round of applause. I thought I will just add my 2 cents to that. I think what Roshan was talking about was, what we were talking about was one kind of a playground and a pitch. But what Roshan was talking about was a different pitch and a playground. And I firmly believe Roshan can bat and field better in the pitch he was talking about. So that is why he has selected that pitch and not the pitch which people want him to do, because he can do better for the country and for the people as well. Any more questions to come?
ඔය තමයි අහන්න එපායයි නොකියා කියපු ප්‍රශ්නය ඇසූ අවස්ථාව. වෙන ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අපි මාධ්‍ය සහෝදරයන්ට අවස්ථාව දෙනවා.
I'm Arshad here. Where do you see this foundation in another 10 years' time? What is your vision? And also, currently you are having, as a whole nation has a financial crisis. How you are going to make that reality, this sustainability of your foundation?
Barry, from the start of the COVID, we've been getting support from fellow Sri Lankans as well as from my friends from overseas. And I'm sure you would have heard people like Wazim Akram, Brian Lara, Sunil Gavaskar, all calling people to come and support Sri Lanka. So I'm sure my friends, family overseas will keep supporting, and we need to be seen doing work. That's exactly what I've been doing. And in the last few months, that's something that I mentioned when I spoke earlier as well, I've been getting funds into a private account, but I just thought it was only but fair that I had a trust so that I can be much more transparent with the work that I do. In 10 years' time, obviously, I've got a young man on the right-hand side. He's got a young family. We were very careful in selecting the group of trustees. I've got a group of matured trustees on board, but we just thought we need a youngster who's gone up the ladder in the corporate world so that working with us, he'll be exposed to the work that we do. And at that point, I'm sure one of my daughters, 3 of them, maybe their husbands, whoever, will jump on the bandwagon, work with the young man to take it forward and set the platform for my grandson and granddaughter who's there. So I don't think we are looking at stopping where we sort of just started, but I just want to have a platform for everyone to work towards the people of this country.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, do we have just one question behind the camera?
Roshan, I'm Ranjan Parnitana. ඔබ දැන් ටිකට ඉස්සලා ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් දීපු උත්තරේ මම හිතන්නේ සිංහලෙනුත් කිව්වනම් හොඳයි කියලා ඔබ දේශපාලනට එනවායි කියලා කතාවක් තිබුණා පෞගේ ටිකේ. ඒ සම්බන්ධව මොකක්ද කියන්න පුළුවන්?
ඉස්සෙල්ලම රංජනයි මම හිතුවේ උපදේශකවරයෙක් හැටියට මම හිතන්නේ මට සහයෝගය දක්වන්න තමයි ඔබ මා සමග සම්බන්ධ වුණේ කියලා ඉවරලා. ඒත් මම දන්නවා ඊශ්වරන් මට යෝකරයක් දැම්මා. ඔයා බවුන්සර් එකක් දානවා. ඒත් මම ඒවට මූණ දෙන්න කුඩා කාලේ ඉඳලම හොඳට පළපුරුද්ද පුහුණුවීම් හරහා ලබාගෙන තියෙනවා. දේශපාලනයට යන්න අවශ්‍යතාවයක් තිබ්බනම් මම ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩාවෙන් අයින් වෙනකොට තමයි මම ඒ තීරණය ගන්න නැත්තේ. මොකද මට විවිධ පාර්ශවයන් හරහා ආරාධනාවල් ලැබුණා. මම ඒව ගැන කල්පනා කරන්න ගියේ නෑ. මම මීට ප්‍රථම කිව්වා වගේ 2004 ඊට ප්‍රථමත් දෙමාපියන්ගේ ආభాෂය හරහා අපි අපේ සහයෝගය අවශ්‍ය පුද්ගලයන්ට සහයෝගය ලබා දෙන්න ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ අන්තිම අවුරුදු 2-3 ඇතුළතත් ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා මගේ සහයෝගය දක්වලා තියෙනවා. මේ අවස්ථාවේදී මම හිතන්නේ මට වැදගත් වන්නේ දේශපාලනයට යනවද වැඩ කරන එකද නෙවෙයි, මහා ජනතාවට අවශ්‍ය දේ ලබා දීලා ඔහුට සහන ලබා දෙන එක ගැන මම කල්පනා කරන්නේ. ඒක විතරයි. විවිධ පුද්ගලයන්ට විවිධ හැඟීම් ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක සාධාරණයි. මං හිතන්නේ බලයක් ඕනේ කියලා යම් දෙයක් තමාගේ සහෝදර සහෝදරියන් වෙනුවෙන් කරන්න ඕන නම් Tamanට අවශ්‍ය හොඳ හදවතක්, අවංක හදවතක් තමන්ගේ සහෝදර සහෝදරියන් වෙනුවෙන් වැඩ කරන්න.
ඒ වගේම තව ප්‍රශ්නයක් මේ දැන් ඔබ ක්‍රීඩකයෙක්නේ. ඉතින් අත් වශයෙන්ම ලංකාවේ දරිද්‍රතාවයේ පෙළෙන දරුවෝ ඉන්නවා සෑහෙන්න. ඒ වගේම තමයි ක්‍රීඩකයෝ. දැන් අපි දැකලා තියෙනවා ක්‍රීඩකයෝ ක්‍රීඩා කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා ගොඩක් අමාරුවෙන් ඉන්න. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට සෑහෙන ගෙවල් වල ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා. අපි දන්නවා ක්‍රිකට් විතරක් නෙවෙයි අනෙක් ක්‍රීඩාවලත් එහෙමයි. ඔබේ බාරය හරහා ඒ වගේ දස්කම් දක්වන යම්කිසි උදව් අවශ්‍ය ක්‍රීඩකයන්ට යම්කිසි උදව්වක් කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තුවක් තියෙනවද?
ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩාව ගැන කතා කරනවා නම් මම හිතන්නේ අපි පිටත ඉන්න කවුරුත් සහයෝගය දක්වන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මම හිතන්නේ ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩාවට මුදල් ඇති වෙන්න තියෙනවා ඔවුන්ව බලා ගන්න. අනිත් ක්‍රීඩාවන් වලින් දක්ෂතාවයක් තියෙන දරුවෙක් ඉන්නවා කියලා කිව්වොත් අපිට ආරාධනාවක් ලැබුණොත් අපේ බාරේ ඉන්න අනිත් බාරකරුවන් සමග කතා කරලා තීරණයක් අරගෙන සහයෝගයක් දක්වන්න අවශ්‍යතාවයක් තියෙනවා නම් මම හිතන්නේ අපි ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා. ඒකට ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්නේ අපිට අවශ්‍ය ලියකිවිලි සකසාගෙන ඒ හරහා මොකද අපිට මේ දෙන ඩොනේෂන්ස් නැත්තම් ඩෝනර්ස්ලට අපි වග කියන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් අපි පිළිවෙලකට කරන්න තමයි අපි තීරණය කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩාවෙන් කාට හරි සහයෝගයක් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා නම් දෙන්න මං ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්න කියලා කල්පනා කරලා නැහැ. මොකද මං හිතනවා පාලක මණ්ඩලයට ඇති වෙන්න මුදල් තියනවා කියලා. ඒක මං හිතන්නේ පාලක මණ්ඩලයේ වගකීමක්. හැබැයි අනිත් ක්‍රීඩා වලට මං හිතනවා එවැනි ඉල්ලීමක් ලැබුණොත් අපි කල්පනා කරලා බලලා තීරණයක් ගන්නයි කියලා.
රොෂාන් මම තිලාන් පුංචිේවා පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ලංකාවේ සමාජ සේවය ටිකක් අපේ අත්දැකීම් තියෙනවානේ. අනගාരിക ධර්මපාලතුමා අවසානයේ නරක ප්‍රකාශයක් කරමින් තමයි කලකිරීම ඇතුනේ. ඔබට කලකිරීමක් ඇති නොවේවා කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. එහෙම ඇති නොවෙන්න වැඩ කරමු කියලා තිදෙනවා. ඔබට එහෙම කලකිරීමක් ඇති වෙයිද කියලා බයකුත් තියෙනවා. නැහැ නේද?
මං හිතන්නේ මම මෙතනට එන්නේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා අවුරුදු කීපයක් වැඩ කරලා අත්දැකීම් ලබාගෙන කොහොමද මේ ගමන ඉදිරියට යන්න ඕනේ කියලා සැලසුම් කරගෙන තමයි මේ කණ්ඩායම සම්බන්ධ කරගත්තේ. අපි මේ ට්‍රස්ට් ඩීඩ් එක කරන්නත් ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපිට උවමනා වුණේ කවුද මේ බාරේ අපිත් සමග නැත්නම් මාත් සමග සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. ඒ වගේම අපි අනෙකුත් අංශ සැලසුම් කරගන්න ඕනේ. මම කිව්වා මීට ප්‍රථම අපිට උපදේශක වරුන් කීප දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. ෆයිනෑන්ස්, ලීගල්, ඔඩිටිං මම හිතන්නේ අත්‍යවශ්‍ය අංශ. ඉතින් අපි බාරයක් හැටියට තීරණයක් අරගෙන වැඩ කටයුතු කරන්න තමයි අපි තීරණය කළා තියෙන්නේ. මම හිතනවා මෙතන මාත් සමග ඉන්නවා මේජර් ජෙනරල් කුමුදු පෙරා මැතිතුමා. මම හිතන්නේ ඒ සම්බන්ධව මම ඔහුට යම් දෙයක් කියන්න කියලා ආරාධනා කරනවා.
මං හිතන්නේ රොෂාන් මහනාම කියන ප්‍රතිරූපය විසින්ම ඒකට උත්තරය සැකසීලා තියෙනවා. රොෂාන් මහනාම කියන ප්‍රතිරූපය තුල මං හිතන්නේ ජාත්‍යන්තරව හෝ දේශීයව වැරදි දෙයක් පිළිබඳව ගෑවිලාවත් නැහැ. මං හිතන්නේ ඒකම තමයි පදනම් වුණෙත් මේ රොෂාන් මහනාම ට්‍රස්ට් එක බිහි වෙන්නත්. ඉතින් අපි අපේ මූලධර්ම හැටියට අපි පිළිගන්නේ විනිවිදභාවය සහ වගවීම. ඉතින් අපි ඉදිරියටත් ක්‍රියා කරනකොටත් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ඒ අයුරින්ම ඒ ප්‍රතිරූපයට හානියක් නොවෙන්න ඒ ප්‍රතිරූපය ආරක්ෂා කරන්න වැඩ කරන්න තමයි අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have had Roshan battered very well. You faced the googly very well. The Yorker was given the treatment that was needed. And then with that, I gather we will conclude the question and answer session. All good things will have to come to an end. And I think this evening, this afternoon which you have spent, has been spent very well with the audience. And there are lots of hope for Sri Lanka. And there is lots of hope for young kids to prosper. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together, a round of applause to the Roshan Mahanama trustees who are shouldering a lot of responsibility.
ප්‍රශ්න සහ උත්තර වටය අවසානයේ මම ඊටම ගෞරවයෙන් යුතුව ආරාධනා කරනවා එක් පුද්ගලයෙක්ට. මතනේ රොෂාන් මහනාම මහතා බැටන් එක ඊළඟට බාර දෙනවායි කිව්වේ. ඔහුට තරුණ නියෝජනයක් සහිතව මේ රොෂාන් මහනාම භාරයේ සිටින ඒ චරිතය ඒ පුද්ගලයාට අපි ආරාධනා කරමු ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම ස්තුති කිරීම සඳහා. ආශාන් පීරිස් රොෂාන් මහනාම පදනමේ භාරකරුවන් නියෝජනය කරමින් මීළඟට ස්තුති කරන්න සූදානම්. පැමිණි නොපැමිණි ඔබ සියලු දෙනාට.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to offer the vote of thanks on this memorable day. I have had the pleasure of being acquainted with Mr. Roshan Mahanama since we met a few years ago at an event and then built a relationship that led to publishing his revised autobiography titled Retired Hurt to the Best View of the Game. I was indeed humbled to be his shadow author in bringing this story out to Sri Lanka and the world. I am even more honored to be invited to be a trustee in this bold and much needed initiative of giving back to the community through the Roshan Mahanama or RM Trust. On behalf of the trust, we would like to thank the following key individuals: without whom this initiative and event would not have been possible. Shiromi Masa Korala, our Director of Operations, for investing her valuable time and support and guiding the trustees, as well as taking the lead role in all operational matters. Thank you, Shiromi. Anjali Gurusingha, for consulting and coordinating between multiple parties to ensure that the PR and marketing elements of this event are executed as planned. Radhika Chang and Ruani Fernando, for offering secretarial services free of charge and investing their valuable time, ensuring everything is meticulously planned. Friends of Mr. Roshan Mahanama from the diplomatic missions, who have invested their time to be here today on a personal capacity, despite their busy schedule. SOS Children's Villages for part sponsoring the event and bringing Ogilvy on board as well for technical expertise. Event History, our marketing partner, for coming on board and investing their valuable time and resources and continuous involvement to ensure key branding elements, website development, and other event-related plans are executed with class and professionalism. Batsman.com for playing an important role in live streaming this event across the platform, which enabled a broader audience to view what was happening here today. The MCs for today, Anushi Hakmanage and Malik Kader, for uplifting this event and for a job well done. To all the friends overseas who sent videos in support of this cause, we are truly grateful for all of you for connecting with us beyond borders. Harindu Alvis for editing and helping us with the final videos of the launch event that definitely created a lasting impression. Our valued members of the media who are here today across multiple platforms, thank you for being here today to create awareness and ensure that the Roshan Mahanama Trust is represented effectively to the general public, whose support is essential in sustaining this trust going forward. To all our wonderful friends for joining us virtually and adding color to this event. Jetwing Colombo 7 for helping us with the logistical arrangements and the location. If we inadvertently missed to mention anyone by name, our sincere apologies, and we look forward to your continued support. Thank you everyone once again, and on behalf of the trustees, we would like to invite all of you to join us outside for refreshments, and please do not forget to collect a small token of our appreciation that you can collect from the welcome desk. Hope you all have a wonderful evening.